I've been wanting to do this video for such a long time. The video with all the trailers I made probably 4 months ago. So when I put all that together, I was ready to go, and I was almost about to film, and I even announced it in one of my reviews, and I never did it. Mainly because I thought it'd be the best thing to do around Halloween. It is currently Halloween, and I am going to be uploading this, so please sit back, relax, and watch Adamoffilm's Top 12 Favorite Horror Films. Sound like a TV show, what in the hell? Number 12. If you were even a human in 2015, you would have heard of it. It is It Follows. With one of the best horror movie scores I have ever heard, and just a nice Halloween Michael Myers feeling, It Follows is one of the best horror films in recent memory, and has Maika Monroe and a ton of other people in just the best roles of their very small careers.
I want to go home. We're all gonna die.
My number 11 pick is easily one of my favorite slashers of all time. That is Hatchet. When I first saw this movie, I was immediately blown away. Mainly because of if you watch this movie, there is not one thing of CGI. It is all real. It is disgusting, it is fun to watch, and it is downright hilarious, and I have seen it hundreds of times. And the director, Adam Green, is one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my entire life, and he just has a talent for horror and understands how it should be.
It's Christmas. Nothing bad's gonna happen on Christmas.
My number 10 pick is one that a lot of people didn't like, but it's undeniably fun to watch, and that is Krampus. Kind of like Hatchet, it has all real prosthetic, puppets, animatronics, whatever you want to call them. It's just a great, fun holiday movie. It is hilarious. Adam Scott and the entire cast are just great, and Michael Dougherty back at it again with one of the best holiday horror films of all time. And number 9, one of the only films that have ever left me shaking after finishing it, and that is Backcountry. Backcountry is one of those real movies that makes you feel something that can actually happen. Of course, ghosts can happen, but nature is all around us, and bears are scary as hell. And the final climax of this movie, it is disturbing. You will never go camping again.
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault!
As Above, So Below comes in at number 8. 8, right? 8. When I first saw this, I was immediately blown away because it's obviously has its shaky cam, but it shows just the perfect shots to where you can understand things and see things that the characters don't actually see. As Above, So Below has the perfect ending and is an overall claustrophobic nightmare. The only movie that has given me night terrors of any other movie that I've ever seen is The Descent. When I first watched this, I had to pause it about halfway through to actually catch my breath, because this movie and its sequel will have you floored. Just wait until the final ending. You will flip. Alfred Hitchcock's second best horror film, The Birds. This came out a really long time ago, and just understanding that Birdemic was a bit of a spin-off of this movie makes me so sad. Because you actually have these real birds actually just in this perfect, this movie is perfect. This movie is awesome. Alfred Hitchcock, one of his best films.
Mr. West.
You'll never get credit for my discovery. Who's going to believe a talking head? Get a job in a sideshow.
It will scare you to pieces.
When I first saw this, it was a total blind watch. I had never heard of it, and I had never even seen it on Instagram or on the internet. I had never heard of this movie. But stumbling upon this was one of my best decisions, and that is ReAnimator. Barbara Crampton from You're Next and We Are Still Here in this movie. It is the reason she is a horror icon. H.P. Lovecraft's ReAnimator is just so much fun to watch. It has a damn good story and great actors. And the gore is just perfect. And here's another movie I heard so much speculation about. It was the first movie on Rotten Tomatoes that I saw got a 5 out of 5 stars. And with no doubt in my mind, this movie scared the hell out of me. And that's REC. The first 2 acts are just build-up and tension, and it's perfect. But once you get up to the penthouse and you see the final finale of REC, one of the most petrifying sequences in a horror movie I've ever seen.
And don't leave my sin, for I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee. None ever shall destroy my faith, for I repentant thou shalt be. Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin, for I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee.
Let us leave the wood.
Coming in at number 3 is one of my favorite films so far this year, and one of the best horror films to come out this year. The Witch. People might say this movie's boring. Sure, it's slow building, but it's just the final 15 minutes will just shock your entire body. You will not forget this ending. And with a plot twist like this that seems so cheesy, they execute it beyond perfectly. And the fact that this is someone's directorial debut gives me hope for film. The Final Girls is a movie I have seen at least 20 times. I can memorize the lines from this movie. It is so quotable. It is what Scary Movie 1 through 5 want it to be. With such a perfect cast consisting of Thaisa Farmiga, Thomas Middleditch, Nina Dobrev, Alexander Ludwig, and just so many others, including Adam Devine. You can't go wrong with this movie. It has strong narrative heft, great performances from people who you've probably never even heard of, and a perfect finale to set up for a great sequel.
You gotta be kidding me. You can bring me the boy. You can bring me the boy.
No! Don't open that door! You're going to get all of them killed!
Couldn't just pick one. It is nearly impossible for someone who likes movies to just pick one. It's impossible. With an honorable mention I did forget about was Truth or Die. I just had to put that one in there because you had to watch that movie. Alright, getting on to my number ones. The Conjuring, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and The Babadook. The Conjuring is the movie that got me into film. It got me into horror movies. Of July of, I don't even remember the year, when we rented this movie, it just pulled me in. It hooked me. James Wan is one of the best horror directors of our time, with zero doubt. Babadook is a perfect psychological thriller that was horribly marketed, but when you go in and you see just a horror movie that should be nominated for Oscars, Oscar-worthy horror films, they don't come around as often as you would hope. The Babadook is one of them. And a movie that is on my top 10 of the year, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Seeing this movie, again, like Final Girls, at least 20 times, I don't care how many times I will see it, it still gets my heart pounding. It is a fun movie just to see people's reactions to the final ending. It is one of the best screenplays of the year. Joe Trachtenberg, pitch perfect direction. He does everything and just wraps it up in a little bow. Thank you guys so much for watching my Halloween special of my top 12 favorite horror films. I will hope to do more top 10s later on, maybe top 10 Christmas movies, I have no idea, but whatever the future will hold.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock